I'm contestant 4525, and I'll be performing a load test on this battery, which is a standard lead acid battery on a 2001 Pontiac Firebird V6 3.8 liter. And in order to do that, I'll be using the Snap-on AVR battery starting and charging system tester. First things first, I'm gonna grab the red terminals and then hook them up. The positive first, and then negative. And then from there, as you can see, I don't have a surface charge because it's reading 12.3 volts. So I can automatically go straight to the load test. And if you read the battery, you'll see this battery is 700 cold cranking amps. So what I need to do is take half of that, which is 350, and put a load on there for 15 seconds, which I will do right now. So I'm gonna use this knob and then hold it at 350, which is half of the 700 cold cranking amps. And then when this light flashes, you'll know you'll have 15 seconds. And then after you perform the 15 seconds, you'll wait for the battery to give it 30 seconds to restabilize and calm down and cool down. Just wait. And after that, you have, forgot to mention the amperage arm that's hooked up. This will determine the amperage it's putting out in order to conduct the load test. So after that 30 seconds is up, I'm gonna perform the same test at 350 for 15 seconds. And you'll know your battery's good because it has to be anywhere from 9.5 and above. And we'll get that reading right now. So as you can see, the voltage that my battery is putting out is 11.8 volts, which is below, like I said, 12.4 to 12.6. So to determine that, we'll grab the digital multimeter to verify that. And I'm going to go to DC volts and use the negative and positive terminals and use the probes. So I'll go negative to negative and positive to positive. And the reading I'm getting is 12.1, which, like I said, will need either a recharge or a replacement. But in this case, since I'm performing a service, I'm going to be replacing the battery. And while we wait, I'm going to service this battery. I'm going to grab the battery cleaner. Just spray that on there. Wait for it to let that foam up, let it do its job. And in this case, this car is a side post. So we'll let that sit while we disconnect that battery and get it ready for replacement. So you're gonna wanna disconnect the negative cable first. Then grab the tool over here and then disconnect the terminals. And you're gonna wanna disconnect the negative post first because, like I said, you don't want any shorts in the circuit. So after that, I'm gonna grab a piece of cloth and then wrap up the negative terminal, just so no risk of any shorts. So that's wrapped up. I'm gonna replace this battery, get that out of the way, and then come back to our new battery. I'm gonna, after we let that sit, just clean it off. Then after installment, we're gonna place the protective coat because we don't want any corrosion or battery acid because that creates resistance, which you don't want. So I'm gonna go ahead and place the new battery in. And then after we hook everything up, I'm gonna connect the red terminal first. get that in there by hand. You don't want to do it with the ratchet right away because you don't want to strip anything. You're gonna get a little spark, but that's nothing to worry about. So at first I'm gonna snug it down a little bit, and then we're gonna come over here and torque it down. So I'm just gonna snug it up. Just like that. Then I'm gonna come over here and then just torque it down to 11 foot-pounds, which we'll verify right now. And you can verify that the inch pounds, if you come over here, went to shop key, 2001 Pontiac Firebird, 3.8 liter, like I said. And you'll see 11 foot-pounds, which we just did. So that's just to verify. And like I said, we're gonna grab the battery terminal protector. I'm gonna just put that right there. Because like I said, we don't want any corrosion or battery acid. So that service is completed. And I'll come over here and I'll grab the conductance tester. We're gonna hook this up to perform the conductance test and the ripple test. So I'll hook up positive first and then negative. So that's hooked up. Then come over here, turn this on. All right, so we're gonna do the conductance test, automotive, in vehicle, 12 volts, regular lead acid battery standard, cold cranking amps, which was 700. It's above 32 Fahrenheit. Now let's give that a second to connect. Give that a minute. So this will determine and verify if the new battery just replaced. Surface charge detected. So now I'm gonna come over here, turn the headlights on to remove that surface charge. So we're gonna turn the headlights on. The lights are detected, turn it off. So that just removed that surface charge we just had. Now we'll get the accurate test. Like I said, we just replaced the battery, good battery recharge. So now we will perform the ripple test. So we'll go back. So now that we know we have a good battery, we're gonna perform the ripple test. Once again, automotive, regular, cold cranking amps, which was 700, it's above. Give that a minute to connect again. And then it's gonna test, and then we're gonna have to put load on everything. So we're gonna come over here and just get ready to turn the engine on. All right, we're gonna come in the vehicle. I'm gonna turn the headlights on once again. Headlights on. Turn the headlights off. Headlights off detected. Testing. Once again, we're gonna get an accurate test reading to determine the life of the battery. Good recharge. So basically that's just a test we just did. So now we're gonna start the real test, which is gonna put load on the battery and everything. So I'm gonna start the engine. Got the keys right here. Start the engine. Cranking's normal. All right, we're gonna start the charging test. So we're gonna rev the RPMs to 2400. Idle is detected. It's testing the idle. So we're gonna turn our high beams on and the AC. And that's putting a load on the battery, the alternator, on everything. Okay, now it's testing with the loads on. We're gonna rev it once again to 2400 RPM. Turn off loads and engine. I'm gonna turn off the high beams, turn off the headlights, turn the AC off and the engine. We're gonna continue with our diagnosis. No problems. Charging system, no load, loaded. Everything checks out exactly how it should, because this is a new battery we just installed. And today we performed the load test, replacement, service, and the conductance test, and the ripple test. And that conducts this charging system, everything. Thank you.